It's Groundhog Day!
Sonic 3 is coming.
Look for the shadow!
On Groundhog Day.
It's December 25th, 2011. I'm around 6 years old around this time, and you can only imagine my excitement when I go downstairs, I open up my presents, and I see a brand new, shiny, sexy, teal 3DS. I absolutely loved that 3DS back in the day. The only real problem was I didn't have that many good games for the console. Those games were fun for me back in the day, but looking back, those games were kind of below average. So just imagine me cutting on the TV one day and seeing this commercial.
There's only one thing cooler than Sonic. Two Sonics. In a time-bending thriller so big it will take two to take it on. Double the Sonics means double the adventure. 2 ways to play. Twice the fun. Sonic Generations. Pre-order for bonus content at GameStop. Rated E for everyone.
Video game commercials. I feel like that's something everybody has seen at least once or twice whenever they're watching TV. It doesn't matter if it's an ad break, it doesn't matter if it's a YouTube ad, we've all seen a gaming commercial at least once or twice in our life. And over the past couple of weeks, I've been looking back at old video game commercials, and I'm talking about like late 90s, early 2000s video game commercials. And whenever I see those commercials and I compare them to now, video game commercials just do not hit the same like they used to back in the day. Now, of course, there's a lot of contributing factors to this. One of the first things being, the internet. With how big the internet is now, a lot of companies don't have to put a lot of effort into a TV commercial. Like most people are probably just streaming a lot of the stuff they watch now. Even I do it. I haven't watched cable television in like 4 years. But I don't think that's a good excuse because there's still a whole bunch of people out there that don't stream stuff. For example, kids who are probably going to be watching cable television. Like imagine being a kid turning on the TV and seeing a game with just basic ass gameplay. Like yeah, you'll most likely be intrigued by it, but when you compare it to games from back then and how much effort they put into their commercials, the difference is like night and day. Look at a commercial for an older Mario game, right? And then try and compare it to a newer game like Mario Wonder. If you look at the two, the difference is like night and day. Look at an old Kirby commercial and then compare it to now. Look at an old Sonic commercial and then try and compare it to now. Actually, I'll give it to Sega. They actually still do pretty good commercials for their games. But it just feels like for the most part, a lot of these video game commercials just don't have the same amount of appeal as they used to from back in the day. One of the things that I miss from those old commercials were the crazy ass plot lines that they always had. Like there's a Kirby commercial where a kid got sent to the hospital because he was playing way too much Kirby. There's a Mario commercial where he breaks out of the TV and raids the family fridge. There's even a Sonic commercial where he just straight up dies.
Okay, Sonic, go!
They just had so many fun commercials from back in the day. And nowadays when you see a video game commercial, they're not even all that great. They're just showing gameplay and talking about how exciting the game is going to be. Like, okay, I thought Paper Mario Sticker Star was gonna be exciting, but when that game came out, I ended up finding out that it was terrible. I'm gonna play a video game commercial, and I really want y'all to try and figure out what game this would be. If your answer was anything but Sonic R, then you're dead wrong. And this is just another thing that I just love about the old video game commercials. They had the dumbest plot lines, made absolutely no sense half of the time, but they were just overall very fun to look at. And that's just something that I can't say about modern video game commercials. And I know I've been mostly talking about Nintendo commercials and a lot of Nintendo franchises, but this goes for PlayStation and Xbox as well. But who knows, they might go back to making commercials how they used to back in the day. And I only say that because it feels like nowadays, with a lot of these companies doing a lot of scummy stuff when it comes to digital media, as well as each passing year people are feeling more inclined to just go back to cable television, because a lot of these streaming services are just starting to do a lot more dumb stuff like adding ads when they didn't have them at first, upping the prices with no additional benefits, and just overall just pulling a bunch of weird stuff in the backgrounds. I mean, who knows? Like I said, they could possibly bring them back. We could possibly see a comeback for those old video game commercials. And like mentioned before, I mean, there are a few companies that still go out of their way to make those good commercials like back then, like Sega. But other than that, I don't really know how to end off the video. So here's a weird ass Yoshi's Island commercial that I ended up finding when I was doing research for this video.
When is too much too much? To find out, we crammed everything into Super Mario World 2 Yoshi's Island. 60 more levels, massive enemies, huge Yoshi tricks, all served up with the latest graphic technology, Morphmation.
No more.
Sure you don't have room for another little bonus level? Super Mario World 2, only on the Super NES. Still the big one.